dual band type base antenna is set up for currently GMRS. It's shortened. It can be lengthened for VHF. I've had it lengthened for 2 meters and MURS. And I'm going to mark the setting where it is now, generally for GMRS. And that's set up on basically channel 16. I think that's 467.575 on the input frequency. Seems to tune out okay. And I'm going to change it again for VHF, and try and chase some SOTA stations this weekend, maybe Monday. There's supposed to be a contest on Monday around 2 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to grab a negatively charged screwdriver here. Negative, that's a flathead. Positively charged would be a Phillips head. So the negatively charged, and I'm going to unscrew this anyways, and I could use a socket if I wanted to access the screw head. It's a hex head, much as it is a negatively charged screw clamp, and it's just a hose clamp, but it won't take very long to adjust and tune this thing for VHF. Adjust the top one, as tiny as it is. We'll start here and shorten as necessary. It probably won't take much to tune this anyways. It might tune exactly anyhow to the radio at hand. Alright, tuned loosely. I could tighten up the radios a little bit, and when I attach it to the provided pole, I'm going to mount it backwards so it faces down the pole for transport, coil up the coax that's attached to it already, and when I put it in position I can just what do they call it? Wire strap, I guess, wire tie to a fence post, provided the antenna's in the upright position, and then just attach the coax to a radio. I'm set up ready to go with the battery. So, keep the screwdriver, got the pole, I've got a meter ready to go. It's gonna take a few more minutes. I'm gonna tighten these ground radials first. Nope, not a 10 millimeter. So I don't have to worry about losing that wrench ever. Unless I want to change the antenna. I suppose. Yeah, I got wire crampers. I had no idea. We use the speed wrench to adjust to that. Tighten those nuts down a little bit. This so the radials don't come off. What good's a ground plate antenna without radials? Just a little snug. This is why we call it amateur radio, because none of us are professional, at least those of us that don't make any money. So, speed wrench is done. Now let's mount it to the pole so we can get a halfway decent standing wave ratio test. Temporary mount. Flip around the pole here. I'm going to need my hardware. It's on the floor. In the handy spot. Alright, can we keep as long as I can squat. It's going to be a little long for space, but that's okay. Let's mount it upright. for testing purposes. And I've got a perfect, absolute perfect place to bond this because it's not coated in fiberglass or paint on this end. This is not for close-up observation. This is for, I need a place to put these things while I denut this U-clamp. Fortunately, denutting is easy this time because I've used it several times. And the best way to denut something is to a proper wrench. If not, there ain't no getting no nut off these things. Even with pliers. Especially if they're rusty. Nobody want no rusty nuts. And when you get to this point, with a small shaft, a couple nuts go a long ways on these U-bolts. Backwoods Virginia speed wrench here. Finger tight. I don't want to read any comments about fingering your nuts on my channel because that's just inappropriate. What we do is we professionally install in an amateur way your nuts to your U-joints. Simple as that, done in just a few minutes. We'll hear it a faster way, but there's not. Because I'm going to have to shorten this thing, in a sense, in order to carry it outside, and lengthen it again to erect it in an upright position to operate. I'm not going to shorten these U-bolts for brevity because I may have a broader shaft one of these days, and the thicker it is, the longer the U-joints have to be. Did I leave my wrench over there? I may have. Oh. Sometimes finger tightening is not enough. Yep, there it is. Hand. A little more than finger tight. I don't suppose you have to. I mean, you could ground this thing if you want to. It's got a ground screw on it below the ground plane, and you could ground it, bond it to earth if you wanted to. Probably that's a safe mistake. Maybe more so for permanent installation than it is for something temporary. You know, maybe an hour less, it won't matter. Unless you really want to protect your Motorola, as expensive as they are to replace and reprogram and all that, unless you know what you're doing yourself, which I do not, but that's neither here nor there. That's just me, and I'm an amateur, so none of that really matters. Really good way to stand this up. It's so tall. It is taller than my apartment. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove the couch here a little bit. Try not to touch my electrified tree there. And we'll see what kind of reading we get off this thing real quick. It really shouldn't take much longer, I hope. This is a really simple process to get this stuff done. I'm going to run this behind the camera so that I'll not have a counterpoise on my coax to my meter. We'll pull the quarter wave mag mount off the Motorola Spectra here for testing purposes only, and we'll see. I think we'll use, to start with, no memory scan, and we're going to use the adventure frequency. Oh, that is dead nuts. Yeah, SWR is really high. Why don't we pull the power down? Oh heck, that's not bad. Yeah, just over 2 to 1. I'm not gonna complain about that. That's just BS. 5.2. Yeah, it's a little high. It probably needs to be shortened a little bit. Let's go back up to the adventure frequency. Yeah, she's awful high. Alright, so what we can do is shorten a little bit each section. These are 1/4 inch, but I'll come down about an inch. Let's make things faster. Hopefully. Of course, it will be better to do this in a vertical position outdoors when it's set up and ready to go. Just retune it again just in case. That's a scanner in the background. Yeah, she's still awful high, and hot. Very good contact. Set. I don't think she's going to get much better than that. This may be MURS only. I don't know if that third screw has an adjustment. I don't think I've taken it apart yet. Yeah, quit complaining. Yeah, she's up there. Test, Kilo 4 Alpha Romeo X-ray. I doubt I'll be heard at horizontal polarity, but there it is. It's my test fit, and we're gonna go with that.